Hello, my dears. Aren't Faith Ringgold's story quilts amazing? I wonder how long it takes her to make one. I bet it takes a long time. So what we're going to do is a paper version of that. Unfortunately, we don't have time to quilt one and to paint on it, and we can't do that anyway. Maybe next year. So today what we're going to do is do a paper version. So you will get a 9x12 paper. You will get a whole bunch of little squares of magazine pages. When you get these, do me a favor, take one and kind of rub it in between your fingers and make sure that there aren't 2 or 3 stuck together. Okay, so make sure that when you're gluing, you're just working with one at a time. You are also going to need a glue stick and a pencil. First thing I need for you to do is to write your name on the back of your paper. I'm just writing mine in the middle and then flip it over. That is the only thing we need a pencil for right now. Okay, it's just to write your name. So that's on the back. And then what you're going to do is we are going to, and I'll show you what the finished one looks like. We're going to make a border using the little magazine squares that kind of resembles a quilt. So instead of using scrap fabric, which we can't use right now because you have to use like a heavier glue for that, we're just going to use magazine squares because they are very easy to glue down. Okay, and they kind of still look sort of quiltish because they have different patterns and different designs, so it gives the appearance of being a quilt without actually being fabric. Okay, so the first thing that I need for you to do is to take your glue stick and twist it up just a little so that you have a little bit of glue sticking up above the edge, and we're going to start in the corners first. So what we're going to do, just going to start in the top right. It doesn't matter, just pick a corner though. Okay, so one of your corners, and I'm going to put a pretty good circle of glue, maybe like the size of a quarter. It's actually pretty close to the size of my glue sticks. I have a really big glue stick. So once you do a pretty big circle of glue, pick one of your magazine pieces. Remember what I said about rubbing it in between your fingers to make sure that it's not 2 or 3 stuck together. Make sure it's just one. And you can look at both sides because they'll have a print on both sides and see which side you like the best to be showing. And so that's the side that you'll have facing up. Okay, so when I put paper down and glue, I like to wiggle it just a little bit to get it to really stick. Okay, so we're going to repeat that with all 4 corners. So we've done one, so we'll have 3 more corners to go. So in your other corners, rub a nice circle of glue. Find whichever magazine piece you want and decide which side you want facing up. Lay it down in the glue, give it a little wiggle so it really sticks, and then move on to your other corners. I like to start with the corners first because this makes it even when we get ready to space out the other pieces. Since we're not really measuring anything, we're having to do what's called eyeballing it, which means you're just visually finding the centers of all of these spaces. You'll see what I mean in just a second. And it doesn't always have to be a printed picture. It's okay if it's print, like if you see words, if you want that showing, that is fine with me. Okay, so either side. Okay, I have my 4 corners finished. When you finish the 4 corners, then we're going to find the centers of the edge. And what I mean by that, and if you'll look up here real quick, look at the video. So what we're going to do is you're going to find the center of this space, and you'll find the center of this space, and the center of this space, and the center of this space. So for example, if I'm working up here, okay, the center is about right here, okay, the center of that space. So I'm going to go ahead and in the center I'm going to put another one. So we did the corners, and now we're finding the centers of the edges. So the center of this edge is about right here. And then the center, the bottom edge is going to come straight across. Make sure you're using enough glue. Don't be stingy with the glue. Make sure you're really rubbing enough glue on there to get these little magazine pages to stick. And then the center of this side. Okay, once you're done doing that, okay, you are going to fit, see how it goes from looking very sparse to very filled in. Okay, so if you'll look up here one last time, let me explain. On your long sides, you're going to put 2 more, 2 more, 2 more, and 2 more. There's going to be a slight gap in between them, okay? Do you see the gap? Okay, so there's a gap in between, so they're not bumped up next to each other, there's a gap, okay? So 2s, 2s. On the short sides, you can only fit 1, 1, 1, 1, okay? So 2s on the long side, 1s on the short side. So what you can do, you can even put your fingers up there and kind of space your fingers out so you can see. So I need 1 dot here, okay, so that was there, and then I need 1 dot here. So once you have those, you can lay down your pieces. There should be a little gap in between, okay? So see how 2 fit in there and there's a little space in between. So you'll do 2 more, 2 more, 2 more, and then 1, 1, 1, 1 until it's all filled in like this, and there should be a little gap in between. When you're finished, put this in your art portfolio, okay? We will use it again for the next class so that when we draw our flying figure that represents you flying to a place that you would love to go, okay? So be thinking about that too, where you are going to have your figure flying, because that will be your background, okay? So we'll talk more about that next time, okay? So finish up your backgrounds, put them in your art portfolio, and then clean up your mess. If you have any extra little pieces, those can be returned to your specials teacher.